Hi friends, I welcome you all for the channel of your UPSC friend. Let's start the Hindu newspaper current affairs MCQ discussion for the prelims 2020. First question, Rewa Ultra Mega Solar Project is the first solar project in the country to break the grid parity barrier. The grid parity occurs when option A, when an alternate source of energy can generate power at the cost of electricity that is less or equal to the price of power from an electricity grid. Second statement, when an electricity energy source can generate the power at the cost of electricity that is more than or equal to the price of power from electricity grid. Third statement, when an alternate energy source can generate the power at a cost of electricity is equal to the price of power from the electricity grid only. Option D, none. This question was included because recently Prime Minister has inaugurated the 750 megawatt solar project set up in Rewa, Madhya Pradesh. It is in line with the India's commitment to attain the target of 175 gigawatts of installed renewable energy capacity by 2022, including 100 gigawatts of solar installed capacity. It is the first solar project in the country to break the grid parity barrier. Now let's see grid parity barrier. Consider, in a conventional way, we can generate the electricity that will cost rupees 4.5 per unit. But in the solar project or in any form, if we can generate the power for rupees 2.9 or even less than to the or equal to the rupees 4.5 per unit, this will be considered as grid parity. Now let's get back to our question. Here the correct answer is A. As I said, the generated electricity cost should be less than or equal to the price of power from the electricity grid. Next question. With reference to the Code on Wages Act of 2019, sometimes seen in the news, consider the following statement. First statement, it provides that there would be an review of minimum wages at intervals not exceeding 5 years. In the second statement, it is telling that it is applicable to the employees of organized sectors only. Here we need to choose the incorrect statement. Now let's see regarding the Code on Wages Act of 2019. This Code on Wages Act 2019 has replaced 4 labor regulations. Those are Payment of Wages Act of 1936, Minimum Wages Act of 1948, Payment of Bonus Act 1965, Equal Remuneration Act of 1976. The key features of this Code of Wages Act 2019 are, it has expanded the definition of employer as well as employee, and also it is applicable to the employees of both organized and unorganized sector. The central government will fix the floor wage taking into the account of living standard of workers. It may set different floor wages for different geographical areas. The new provision proposed in the new draft are, it is proposed to reduce the normal working hours in a day to 8 hours from the previous 9 hours. Center shall constitute a technical committee which would advise on the skill categories, while the advisory board may recommend even on the minimum wages. Now let's get back to our question. In the first statement, it is telling that it provides that there would be a review of minimum wages at intervals not exceeding 5 years. This makes the first statement correct. As this Code of Wages 2019 is applicable for both organized and unorganized sector, this makes the second statement incorrect. As this is asking for the incorrect statement, the correct answer is B, that is true only. Next question. In the context of Atmanirbhar skilled employee-employer mapping, that is ASEEM portal, consider the following statements. First statement, it is an initiative of Ministry of Labour and Employment. Second statement, it aims to map skilled workforce and connect them with relevant livelihood opportunities in their local communities. Here also it is asking for the incorrect statement. Now let's see regarding this Atmanirbhar skilled employee-employer mapping. It is launched by the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. It is developed and managed by National Skill Development Corporation. It mainly aims to map the skilled workforce and connecting them with the relevant livelihood opportunities in their local communities. Now let's get back to our question. In the first statement, it is telling that it is the initiative of Ministry of Labour and Employment. This makes the first statement incorrect. As we have seen, it is the initiative of Ministry of Skill Development. In the second statement, the question is telling that it aims to map the skilled workforce and connect them with the relevant livelihood opportunities in their local communities. This makes the second statement correct. As it is asking for the incorrect statement, the correct answer is A, that is 1 only. Next question. Consider the following statement. First statement, Lighthouse Act of 1927 was enacted to consolidate the laws related to provisions, maintenance and control of lighthouses in India. Second statement, according to the Act, the central government can levy dues on all foreign going ships arriving at or departing from any port in India. Third statement, it was passed during the Governor Generalship of Lord Irwin. The Shipping Ministry recently placed the draft of Navigation Bill 2020 to replace the 90-year-old Lighthouse Act of 1927. Now let's see regarding this Lighthouse Act of 1927. This act consolidate and amend the laws relating to the provision, maintenance and control of lighthouses by the Government of India. It was passed during the period of Lord Irwin. The superintendence and management of all general lighthouses are vested by central government. The central government can levy dues on all foreign going ships arriving at or departing from any port in India. Now let's see regarding the Navigation Bill of 2020. This bill provides for empowering the Directorate General of Lighthouses and Lightships, that is DGLL, with additional power and function involving the vessel traffic services, wreckage flagging, training and certification, and also implementation of other obligations under the international conventions in which India is a signatory. It also grants the DGLL authority for prosecution for a larger set of offences such as damaging or obstructing any of the aids like beacons, lighthouses, etc. The legislation also grants powers to the centre to declare navigational aids as such as lighthouses as the heritage artifacts. Now let's get back to our question. As we have seen in the explanation, the Lighthouse Act of 1977 was enacted to consolidate the laws related to provisions, maintenance and control of lighthouses in India. This makes the first statement correct, and also this provides the provision for the central government to levy lighthouse dues on all foreign going ships arriving at or departing from any port in India. and also it was passed during the Governor Generalship of Lord Irwin. This makes all the three statements correct. Hence the correct answer is D, that is 1, 2 and 3 only. These are the questions for today. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.